Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out, working on this 2010 Troy built again. This thing's been a stickler. Put the new carburetor on it. It would start, but then slowly die out. So I started snooping around. I did a compression test. I got 72 psi, which I was happy with. So what I decided to do was remove the carburetor, and what I was going to do was just use the old carburetor and put the float valve from the aftermarket carburetor and put it back in the original Briggs machine. Sometimes I do that. I'll get a Chinese aftermarket carb because they're so cheap, steal parts off and use the original Briggs carburetor because the quality's better. So I went to take the bowl off the Chinese carburetor, and I'll show you what I discovered. Kind of stumbled on it. These are the things you got to do, is just mess around and look and do some troubleshooting. Here's a couple of old Briggs carburetors for demonstration purposes. So what I had discovered, I took off the bowl. I was looking at the jet here and noticed there was no side drilled holes. But the center jet here was drilled. I stuck a wire in to see, and it does go down quite a bit into the bottom here, but there's no side holes. You need here's an old Briggs one here. You need the two holes drilled in the side so gas can be pulled in through the bottom here and then up through the jet in the middle. The reason why this carburetor was starving and stalling, there was no flow through here. If you guys ever experienced that, maybe whoever put this together came back from lunch and grabbed this out of the wrong bucket. So that would be extremely frustrating for Harvey, the homeowner. Put the carburetor on it, it dies out after 10 seconds. And probably Harvey doesn't know what to look for and will become extremely frustrated. So I don't know if this was just a fluke where they forgot to drill the holes. I could probably salvage this one myself, drill a hole straight through and use this on another project. But it should have that drill through at the bottom. Otherwise, there's going to be no suction through that jet and no fuel flow. So you never know what you're going to find. Anywho, that solves this mystery. I ended up starting the unit and let it idle for 10 minutes. There was still quite a bit of oil. You remember the oil and gas in the crankcase, and the cylinder was hydrolocked with gas. So I've started to do some maintenance on this. I put some lubrication on the safety brake cable, and I'll oil up the wheels, sharpen the blade, put this back together, and take some pictures of it. The rear wheel drive works too. I ran it down the driveway and back. It does engage and move the unit, so kind of a fluke here with this Troy built, gave me some problems. Defective Chinese carburetor, which would have pissed somebody off somewhere if it ended up in the wrong hands. Luckily, I noticed the jet was not drilled and took care of it. Thanks for coming out. Have a good day today.